So I have to be careful how I word this video, and this video is directed towards Americans, American civilians specifically. I wish you guys knew how fucking great this country is compared to other countries currently. It is crazy to me that we have people born in America, Americans, claiming other countries and bashing the country that has given them opportunity in life and an infinite amount of opportunity. That's crazy to me. And believing America, oh, we're so oppressed here and this and that. Everything that you guys are doing in LA and the protest, try that in Iran. Go try it over there. See how that works. Go try it in Africa with Al-Shabaab. Go try that in Afghanistan with the Taliban. Go try that in the UK now. Like, America is so free and so good. You can bash the government on social media. You can bash the military. You can bash political figures and be okay. Go try that in Iran, dude. Like, let me know how far you get. Let me know how far you get in the UK. Like, they're going to arrest you. In Iran, they're going to behead you. You know, so it's crazy to me that it's just so crazy that we're free. We're so free that it's actually going against us at the moment. And it just rattles me. You know, America is doing what other countries have done on a lower spectrum, way lower spectrum, but yet we're so bad for that. That's insane to me. You guys need a reality check, because with everything that's going on in this country, it
is bad. And I think that it's so bad because we have unchecked freedom, and because most of us have never really been through anything, we take a lot of what we experience here in the United States of America for granted. People that have never traveled, and I'm not even just talking about traveling outside of the country, but even to middle America, to rural America, if you've never traveled to Japan and all of these places, they don't let you just come in and do what you want to do when you want to do it. You be on your best behavior, you make some adjustments, you make sure that you assimilate to the culture. If not, similar to a lot of people that got arrested over in Dubai, they will lock you up and they will absolutely send you back to where you came from. They don't play no games. And it's amazing to me how disrespectful people are to this country because they don't respect our president. This is one of the rare instances where you can go out and make signs, protest, even talk online, and let the information go viral. One of the things that came along with Trump becoming president, and even Elon Musk, despite the fact that they fell out, some of the things that came along with that was the fact that he did remove the censorship that came along with X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, a lot of people may not even remember this, but just a few years ago, Elon Musk actually released the level of censorship that was happening, even to conservatives or people that the system didn't like. And so he released the files and he showed that, but how soon that people forget. And that's how I know that the news cycle is all programmed, it's all cyclical, because people forgot that all of that censorship was in place. I remember just a few years ago when the pandemic was happening and everybody was getting a jab, that even if you advocated against it or you said or released information that showed otherwise that you shouldn't take it or anything like that, you was removed from platforms, you was banned, you was demonetized, you was all of that. I remember if you said certain people's names that you were absolutely censored and all of that stuff. And so now that you see people having the freedom to be able to protest and do whatever it is that they want to do, it's kind of disrespectful that they feel compelled to then destroy their cities. They feel compelled to throw objects at the police. They feel compelled to say some of the most disrespectful things to some of the people that is just looking to keep the peace. Now, if the protests were so peaceful, which they're not, we've showed countless footage, and thank God for social media because we can't be controlled by traditional media anymore. If the protests were so peaceful, we would have never had the National Guard come in. If the protests were so peaceful, we would have never had to have the Marines come and protect federal buildings. If the protests were so peaceful, you would have not had the scenes of people beating on each other's cars and throwing objects at ICE officers and stuff. And let's address this whole ICE situation, right? Because we are the only place in the world that you can go into without any kind of repercussions, and it don't matter what your past is. You could have been a serial killer, you could have been a murderer. I look at these liberals and I look at these people that are out there running around and stuff, and if you ask them, they completely turn a blind eye to Laken Riley. They completely turn a blind eye to all of the police officers that was assaulted in New York City during the pandemic. They completely turn a blind eye to the billions and billions of dollars of disinvestment in your cities to make sure that they spent money supporting a group of people that they didn't even know. These people was getting released from prisons. They was getting released from everywhere. And by default, we give grace. By default, we go out there and we say, oh no, everybody is a good person. It's no reason to arrest them and send them back to where they came from, even if they committed an additional crime from the crime that they committed coming over here illegally in the first place. And nobody bats an eye. We help them with Medicaid and Medicare, and out in California, you can go and get free health care. Taxpayers and citizens are the ones that's footing the bill. They continue to fill up your classrooms and your students can't even learn. We have to put in extra. Listen, bro, during this migrant crisis when Biden was in office, do you know that they had to hire extra teachers and spend an extraordinary amount of money from the school system to ensure that they even learned English? They had to learn English. There are places inside of the United States of America that is named after their culture from where they from, because they've assimilated over here, and not only assimilated, they've taken over whole cities, and they don't even speak English in some of these locations. There are people that has been here for 20 and 30 years that don't even speak English in the United States of America. There are people over here that don't speak English, bro, and they've been existing over here successfully. Amazing. And we want to ignore the fact that all of these manufacturers or all of these companies are hiring illegal migrants, and the racism that comes along with these politicians that'll say, well, who's going to do our jobs if we don't get the people from out of town to do the jobs that we don't want? We are the silliest, easily manipulated, dumbest culture ever for allowing other people to come over here undocumented and be able to determine a course of action of how it is that we go about doing business. They take our money, they send it out of town, they send it back to their people, they build up their country, they build up their neighborhood, they build up their homes, they build up their own communities, they take your dollars, and then you sit there and you cheer them on for it. They'll come over here and tear up your universities if they don't get what they want. We are so inclusive that it is killing us. And then we'll have the nerve to sit there and disrespect the president of the United States of America for just simply enforcing the rules that's already on the books. Hey, listen, if you're going to come over here, you got to come over here legally. The people that's here legally, the people that came over here and did it legally, they upset. And you sitting here caping for them because you so stupid and you so privileged that you don't know what suffering really feels like. And if you do that junk anywhere outside of the United States of America, they'll have your neck. But, what do I know? So funny. Being a black man in America, being a conservative and a Republican, and advocating for the rule of law in the United States of America is taboo, right? Always like to give credit to the content creators, so that link will be in the description. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I want to know what y'all think inside of the comments.